Hello, everyone. It is 5 o'clock here, Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's another edition of Travel the World as a Speaker. We're going to actually launch this on Instagram because we need our Instagram people to come join us here. So, all right, everyone, this is another edition of Travel the World as a Speaker. Yay! I need to learn how to do crowd noises over here. So thank you so very much for being here. We come to you live every evening, 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we talk about traveling the world as a speaker. I am your host, Phylecia Jones, and this is brought to you by iFind You Clothes, where we actually go out and research and find speaking opportunities for you, so you don't have to do the research, like seriously. So if you want to see what we're doing, go check us out at ifindyouclothes.com. I'll put up the website a little bit later so you can see what's going on, but I am so happy. We come to you live here on our YouTube channel, ifindyouclothes.com/YouTube. And also, as our secondary home is on Instagram at iFindYouClothes. See, we're just the same everywhere. But tonight, we're going to talk about leave an impression that converts, because we are trying to leverage speaking so that we can travel the world. That's it. And right now, we are in the mode of leaving an impression. You got to leave an impression if you want to grow your business, if you want to, travel the world, if you want to leverage all this speaking, you got to do all of that stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about leaving an impression that converts. We're going to talk everything from your presentation style to your social media to your website. All of these different things are going to be keys for you to convert when it comes to leveraging speaking to travel the world, or you know what, just to, grow your business, make some money, change the world, all of those different things. So of course, we're going to talk a little bit about travel, because I absolutely love to travel. As you can see in the background here, that is my map. It's from Awesome Maps. You can go check them out. I'll put the link in the description box here on YouTube so you can go check them out. But it's Awesome Maps. I found them some years ago, when it was a Kickstarter. I was just playing around with Kickstarter, and it was a young man and a friend, and they draw all of these things, like hand-drawn, hand-drawn. And part of the Kickstarter was, if you got this bucket list map, it's yours, and it came with pens, and it's canvas, so you can get it wet and it won't mess up, all of those cool things. So I absolutely love it. I had my friend, she mounted it on a push pin, but I don't have any pens yet to look at all the places. But what was also cool about this map is that if you got in at the right time and at the right level, they drew you into the map, but they wouldn't tell you. So there are little people in all these places that you need to see around the world. But and if you were drawn in, you had to go find yourself. So that was a really cool thing that they did. So if you ever do a Kickstarter for anything cool, you can do something like that as well. But oh my gosh, so of course I absolutely love to leverage travel as speaking. So for those of you who have no idea who I am, I'm actually the lead researcher and founder of iFind You Clothes, and I stumbled into this world because I'm just like most people. I launched a business and I needed to convert people to work with me. And I was doing a lot of money coaching, and social media just wasn't my thing. I tried to do the video thing. I was off and on doing video on YouTube. My very first YouTube show, and I do have a personal brand called Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. It was called Stop Being So Damn Broke. That, literally, that was when you could go live on Google Hangouts, and I don't think anybody ever watched that. And it's so funny because now people watch it now. It's because I did the thing where you just stop, and that was it. But anyway, I discovered that speaking was one of the best ways for me to start converting people over, and that's what I started doing, and it just kind of kept on from there. So I've got to check my sound really quick. So yeah, so sometimes you got to always check your sound. So of course I stopped doing it because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Probably should have kept going. I would have evolved over time, But I started doing this speaking thing, and I didn't realize that my background was the one thing that absolutely helped me do this. I have a background in research. I was a computer scientist for the U.S. Navy, and then I got my master's degree in systems engineering. And I just knew how to find stuff. That was it. And I found it for me because I was like, it's the internet. Let me just go hunting. And over time, I realized that, oh my gosh, I can actually travel with this. And that's why I have been inside of travel conferences over the last few years, because I love them. I love travel conferences and being around travel people. Amazing. And yeah, so that's kind of how it all started from there. And eventually I took a walkabout in London for my birthday when I turned 40. And I realized, you know what? So many people kept asking me how to do this, so I started a company. There you go. I started a company where I actually go out and research, and it's been going really well. And I get to find all of these interesting events around the world. Trust me, if you need help finding a speaking gig, I can help you, because there's a stage for everything. But one of the cool things was I was able to leverage all of this speaking so I can travel. And that is why we have this show, Travel the World as a Speaker, because if you're trying to leverage anything you're doing, if you're trying to leverage from your day job, from your hobbies, from your business, we can get you on stage and we can negotiate some really cool and amazing travel experiences for you. So that's what I'm all about. But you have to excuse me, I'm always coughing. But tonight, so we're gonna get deeper into leaving an impression. So, but first I gotta tell you, I got a new toy. So one of the things that's kind of interesting being married to a gamer for life. So my husband bought me this little thing here. So I have like multiple screens going. So I have 3 monitors and I'm working off of OBS. So for those of you on Instagram, you don't get to see all this cool stuff. You have to come over to YouTube to see it. And I'm switching scenes back and forth, and I'm also trying to bring up web pages at the same time. And of course, my husband drops his knowledge. Why don't you just get one of these things? Because he tried to like program my keys in, and now my keys are all broken because I can't do stuff. Love him. But not every day when you mess with my keys. So he bought me this little thing. This is a stream deck, and now I can literally switch. I use OBS over here, and I can switch between my scenes. It's so freaking cool. It's so cool. So like right now, I'm about to switch. For my YouTube people, I just switch over, and all I have to do is press the button. Yeah, you have no idea how excited I am to do this. But this is Stream Deck. I'll put it in the description box so you can see that. And so one of the things we talked about today, I was actually presenting for She's Wonderful. And one of the things I talked about that's going to be so key for 2021 is you're going to have to upgrade your experience when you're doing live presentations. So, learn how to switch back and forth with these scenes, add graphics, do all of the things. So I am definitely in the mode of trying all of this out. So if you want to, if you want to see what I'm doing, hopefully, I think I'm going to do another video on the YouTube channel that can show you how I'm upgrading all of my stuff over here. So, and I tell you all of that because it's all about leaving an impression. Leaving an impression is going to be one of the biggest things that will convert people to book you. I don't care if it's booking people to work with you, to consult with you, to hire you as a brand ambassador, to call you, all of those things. Now, we're specifically going to talk about converting into speaking gigs, but it all works the same way. You have to leave an impression. And one of the things, or 3 of the things we're going to talk about today is your website, the experience you bring as a virtual presenter, because I hate to say it, we're not doing any live events anytime soon. This is what you got. So right now, while you're at home, you better jump in on this, because in 2022, people are going to act crazy and they're going to want to do live events everywhere. So this is the time to practice, try some new things, go after all of the events. Like if you were to sign up for iFind You Close, I would literally say pitch every last one of them, because we want to make the biggest impression possible so that you can grow your authority. So we're going to talk about your website. We're going to talk about your presentation, like what you're doing to leave an impression, and the connections that you're making. I know networking in person hasn't been a thing of late. Depends on who you are. No judgment, no shame. You do your thing. I've been in the basement. So that means there's been a lot of virtual networking. So you got to start leaving an impression with all of the visuals, that you have going on, and use them to your advantage. Your social media presence, your LinkedIn, Instagram, all of these things are going to be so key, because what is happening is a lot of events, they are leaning on your social media presence to see what you're about. And I'm just being straight up honest. There is no judgment with anything I'm going to say, but people are looking at your social media to decide if they want to do business with you. That's it. And you have to decide if what you're putting out there is how you want to be represented. And I have to admit it, I'm in the stage of like, I'm just trying to make sure who I'm doing business with, because I don't want them to try to, like, I don't know, shave all my head off or something. But I mean, and we've always done this, but even more so because unfortunately, we are becoming very polarized here in the United States, and people are being very choosy. I think that's the better word. People are being very choosy with who they want to do business with. So for you, as somebody who wants to travel the world, you want to bring people into your business, you're going to have to pay attention to all of these things and look at what you're putting out there. Now, if you're absolutely fine with what you're putting out there, you're good. But if you have to, like, should I tweet that? Should I do that? If you have to second guess everything you're putting out there, that means you probably shouldn't put it out there. I know that sounds really crazy, right? But just things to think about, just letting you know. All right. All right. So make sure you go and check on your social media, because your social media presence does leave an impression. I was going to try to be all fancy and give you some notes and everything, but you know what? I'll do this. It's going to be so backwards how I'm doing this, because I wasn't really prepared. So for those of you who are on, if you're here on YouTube, you're about to see what I'm going to do. So the first thing we're going to start off with is, your website. I know, like I just brought up a thing and wrote website. That's why I have my little pen, because I can't put little notes in anywhere. Maybe I'll just make myself bigger over here. So I just grew. So the thing is, you got to pay attention to your website. All right. Pay attention to your website. And I will actually show you mine in a few minutes. But when it comes to your website, here's some key things. If you're trying to leverage your speaking or leverage your business so that you can travel or grow your business and all that kind of stuff, you got to be very clear what's on your website, and it needs to leave an impression that somebody will want to book you. Now, I do these free assessments all the time, and you can go check it out at iFindYouClose.com. It's the free assessment that I do. Let me actually bring that up over here, because I gotta press my little buttons. Oh gosh, I love my buttons. You have no idea how much I love these things. Even though I just messed it up big time. I love me. All right, let's see if this will work. All right. So if you go over to iFindYouClose.com, the very first thing is a free assessment to determine if you can attract high paying gigs. And the reason why I'm showing this to you, because I do these all day, and I absolutely love doing them. So if you want me to do one for you, just go to iFindYouClose.com and just start that assessment. This little button right here, all you got to do is just, even though you can't see my mouse over here, maybe you can, I don't know. But all you got to do is click it. And what I'll do is do a custom assessment of what you have out there and give you some tips. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I get so many people that contact me and say, well, Phylecia, I want to make $75,000 from speaking this year. And of course, I go and look at all of everything they have, their website, their social media, and like, okay, I don't know what you talk about. So you have to like zhuzh up some things and make it all nice and pretty so somebody can book you. That's going to be so key with you leaving an impression with your website. Right now, people are only sticking on your website for less than a minute, and you got to give them something, especially if you're trying to promote yourself as a speaker. You got to give them something. Give them something to talk about. Is that a song? Let's give them something to talk about. No, I cannot sing. But that's something that you really need to work on, is leaving an impression so that people can keep going on your website and determine if they want to book you. And what happens when I do these assessments and people say, well, I want to make 50,000, 75,000, 125,000 this year from speaking. And then I go and a website and I have to tell them, like, look, the first question you need to ask yourself is, are you worth the money? Ooh, I know it hurts, right? It hurts. It hurts to hear that. But that's the reality. What we have in our head is, me personally, I think people should pay me $1 million to speak. The reality is I probably can't command $1 million. Not yet, at least. But those are the things you have to start asking yourself. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of math here. And I don't think I can use my keys because I love my husband, but he messed up my keys when he did all the things on my that's why we have touchscreen. So let's just say $75,000. You want to let's make it more reasonable. $25,000 in speaking gigs right now. So the first thing you have to do is determine how much are you charging. You have to determine how much are you going to charge for speaking. And I try to make sure people understand that this is the one thing we have to pay attention to, because if you're only charging $500, like let's just do the math over here. If you're only for my Instagram people, I got a calculator up. If you're only okay, I did that wrong. $25,000 divided by, if we're only charging $500, guess what? That's 50 speaking opportunities that you need to find for this year. And I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. Finding speaking gigs is not the hard part. The pitching is the time consuming part. And then you have to pitch enough that 50 people will say yes to you. So if you want to make this $25,000, you got to go look at your website and determine, like, am I worth $500? If you're only worth $500, yes, now you got to put in the work. But now if we come back and say, you know what, I want to charge $25,000, but I want $5,000 a gig. All right. Okay. Obviously, I can't do math over here. I want to charge $5,000 a gig. And of course, that's going to be 5 gigs. That's cool. That sounds real doable, right? It really does sound doable. Now we have to go back to your website. Can you command $5,000 with the impression that you're leaving on your website? That's what I want you to start asking yourself. Is it possible? I have made more 5,000 and more from my website. And I know I can command that, but you have to start asking yourself, can you, with your speaking topics, with the graphics, with the video, with the credibility, all of that stuff matters. Can you command that amount of money with what is on your website? Remember, we're not able to get in front of people. And I know you're probably an amazing person. You're probably really amazing. But right now we can't network in person. So our website is it. You got to start looking at, can you command that amount of money with your website? And of course, if you have a question about anything, put it in the comment box. That is what I'm here for. So what are we talking about first? I got things in all the places. You got to look at your website first, okay? That's going to be the very first thing that we have to pay attention to, is the website. What kind of impression are you leaving? And for those of you who are trying to make a lot of money, and I have to say this, to be honest, even if you're trying to leverage speaking into travel, it's the same thing. You're negotiating a very different kind of money, but you're still negotiating some money, and you gotta look at all of these things to see if you are leaving the right impression. Now, for those of you who are already speaking, now we got to look into your presentation. This is so ghetto. I know. I love it. I love it though. Now we got to look at your presentation. For those of you who are already out there speaking, I really want you to pay attention to what you're doing to determine what type of impression are you leaving behind. And the reason why this is going to be so important, because we've been able to do a lot of virtual speaking, a lot of virtual presentations, and you have to determine, are you bringing the energy? I've been on a lot of virtual presentation and I see people, well, They're always looking down, and when we're doing this and they're banging on the table and things are shaking everywhere and their energy is so low. Now, if you're doing nighttime stories, of course, do what you're supposed to do to match your talk. But if you are, I'm like one of the most energetic speakers ever. No, you can't do that. One thing I have to tell you, every speaking opportunity you have from this point on is an opportunity to get another speaking opportunity. It can be here in the United States, it can be in England, it can be in Australia. It all depends on who's watching and who has an event that want you to be a part of it. So when you're doing these virtual presentations, you have to ask yourself, what kind of impression am I leaving? Even with your live streams. Now, if you're coming on and doing boring live streams, I guess boring people will be attracted to you, but boring people, I don't know if boring people have money. I don't know. Don't know. And sorry if you are boring. I'm not picking on you. I absolutely love you if you're boring. I'm boring on some days. But during a presentation, you can't afford to be boring. So I really want you to pay attention to what you're doing in your presentation. What kind of impression are you leaving? Is the impression you're leaving going to convert you as a speaker? And this is why I'm telling you, you got to start practicing all of these different things that are out there, changing the graphics, being able to switch back and forth, bringing different things up on the camera, having, utilizing Canva to its ultimate power, moving GIFs and all that kind of stuff. Canva is amazing. So you got to start using all of these to your advantage, because your job is right now is to leave an impression so people can convert you. If you're trying to go after paid speaking opportunities, if you're trying to leverage to go speak, if you're trying to negotiate to get all of your travel paid for, what kind of impression are you leaving when you're on camera? That's going to be a big one. That's why it's so important right now for you to start recording all of your virtual presentations and putting them on your website. Again, back to that website. That website is going to be so key. Oh my gosh. I'm just like so fired up about this. And I don't remember what the last thing we're going to talk about. We talked about social media and things like that. And I think the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to leaving an impression, and this is a very low grade impression that some of us, we instantly and we quickly overlook. I got to go erase, so hold on. This is something that we overlook many, many times, but for somebody who books speakers, this is going to be so key. And for those of you on Instagram, why don't you come over here to ifindyouclothes.com/YouTube, and you can see me and my cheesy graphics. But you get to see me. Well, you can't see me right because I have to put it on a different monitor, and I have it set up this one so you can see it. First world problems. There you go. And I have to write with a slant because this is just odd to me. The last thing I want to talk about are these testimonials, okay? Testimonials. Not enough of us have them on our website. And I know sometimes it might seem cheesy and it might seem weird to go and get them, but they are so powerful. The goal with testimonials is to get other people to talk about how amazing you are. Let other people sell you versus you have to work so hard in selling yourself. Let other people do it. After each of these presentations that you're doing, any of your live streams, tell people, hey, I need a testimonial. Help me out. Help a sister out. I would love for you to drop a testimonial. Even right now, for those of you who will watch this now or way in the future, drop a testimonial. Tell me if you like it. Give me a review. If you don't like it, don't leave one. That's simple. But the thing is, we got to start putting more of these testimonials and everything that we're doing on our websites. This leaves an impression that can convert, because what happens is, let's just say I have two speakers and I'm trying to choose them for an event, and they're both amazing from what I can tell through their pitches or whatever. They're both amazing speakers. But now all I have right now, because I can't go see them live, is I have their website and what they're doing. Speaker A their website is like the bomb. Wow, it's like photos of them on stage. They got testimonials, they got logos showing their credibility, they got videos so I can see how they sound, what their topics are like, all of that. And then speaker B just has their name and a very pretty branding shot of them saying that they are a speaker. And this is where it comes down to. It's not so much that speaker B may not have the talent. They probably are awesome, but they didn't realize that right now your website might be the only thing that's the decider. It's a decider. It's comes down. Your website is the thing that'll come down to that, getting that gig, and it's all based on that impression. One of my clients told me, it was so funny. We were sitting there talking, and she's trying to choose some speakers for her event. And she said her son came in and, asked, like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm trying to choose a speaker to come in and speak. And, she's looking at the website. He was like, well, looking at a website doesn't look like they know how to speak. And it wasn't because the website was bad, because there was nothing that said that they were a speaker or gave the impression. We can all say that we are a speaker, but sometimes you need those little clues. And I promised that I would show you mine. For those of you on Instagram, unfortunately, you won't be able to see this, but for my YouTube people, you can see all the things. I'll show you what my website looks like. I think it's worked. I'm very critical of my own work here, but I think it has worked to convert. So what you really want to start paying attention to, and this is a website that is being updated as we speak, but we want to make sure we have photos that are showing that we are on, if you come to this website, you'll definitely know that I am a speaker. I have a photo of myself on stage with a microphone in front of humans. And then as we go down, you can see there's the credibility. I have TEDx, and for those of you who don't know, I've done 2 TEDx talks, and I was able to be on a TEDx speaker selection committee. It's so fascinating. I was also on a live, on a national television show that went live answering personal finance questions, and I have the videos to show it. So this is what we want. We want to start leaving an impression. All right, we got a bunch of words here because I've had the websites, and if all you have are just the beginnings of a website, that is fine. Use what you have, but you may have to pitch just a little bit differently. But I do have the credibility, and then I have tons of testimonials. I have written testimonials from people who have run events that, give me good words, and I have more photos showing that I have been on stage speaking. And I'm very clear in when I have my testimonials, they're from places in different parts of the world, just to let people know that I am not just land bound here to Colorado or the United States. Give me a ticket and I will fly. And I'm not land bound to just my neighborhood either. So I am willing to get into the car, the RV, or get on the plane to go somewhere and speak. So this is what you want to start showing. And then of course I have the video testimonials as well. This is how you start leaving an impression. So one of the biggest impressions, the first thing is you want to make sure that people know that you are a speaker and you're just not making stuff up. Oh, no, we don't want to make stuff up. Now, my whole website, there's more things going on, but I just wanted to give you an idea of leaving that impression. Sometimes the impression you want to leave is like, oh my gosh, they're like fancy. And I've had people who've come to me and like, oh my gosh, I looked at your website. We can't afford you. That's what you're going for right there. That is what you're going for. Even though they don't know if they can't afford you, that's where we go back to negotiating. But that is what we're looking for, is somebody to say, oh my God, like, I can't afford to have you come and speak. And it was like, I know. But yeah, don't ever let anybody say that. Get into the negotiating, because you never know. Somebody might just have what you need at that exact moment. So what we talked about today is leaving an impression. So the first thing we talked about was your website. Please make sure you look at your website. And especially if you're trying to make money from speaking, you got to start asking yourself, is what you're putting out there going to bring back the money that you are asking for? One of the things that I used to do when I went out with my, when I go out to networking events, or when I got on stage, especially if I was into converting mode, if I was trying to convert people, And I would go through my outfits and I would go out and ask my husband. I was like, all right, does my outfit look like you should give me $20? And he would say, yeah. And then I was like, well, does it look like you should give me 1,000? He was like, no. This is where you have to have those hard conversations. Like, do I look like $1,000 or do I look like $20? Some days I'm fine with looking like $20 because I can convert a lot. And sometimes I need to look like I'm converting $1,000. That's what you have to start doing with your website. You have to ask yourself, like, does this look like $1,000 website? Or does it look like somebody should just get a freebie? Ooh, I know. I know you weren't ready for that one. Is it a freebie site or is it a pay me site? So you got to look at that as well. The next thing is look at how you're leaving an impression with your presentations. It's time to upgrade. Better lighting, better sound, better graphics, better fun things that you're doing. Are you sleepy? Are you sad? Are you just like, oh my gosh, are you whispering? I mean, seriously, have you been on one of these things where somebody's just whispering the whole time? Are you still using Microsoft Clip Art? Some people are, y'all. Some people are. Trust me. You make sure you're not that person. Just say Phylecia told me, no clip art, no old stuff. Come into 2021. There's a thing called Canva. Use it. I love it. And then finally, those testimonials, go get them. Go get them. Let other people sing your praises without you having to work 10 times harder to get it. Oh, I think that's it. That's it for now. If you have any questions about anything, make sure you put them in the comment box. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to work on tomorrow. Tomorrow, what are we talking about? And if you are, here on our channel, be sure to go ahead and like us. Go ahead and like us. We love you. I love you at least. So be sure to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. And if you're on Instagram, go ahead and give us a follow. We're going to be going live every day. During the week, it's at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, because I'm in Mountain Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific. Whew. I got to keep up with all of these time zones. And on the weekends, we go live at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to be doing this. I've committed to doing a year of just bringing you some good quality content so that you can get on more stages. And tomorrow we're going to talk about Wednesdays. We do a reality check when it comes to speaking. And we're going to talk about how long it takes to get on stage. Because I know a lot of us are waking up tomorrow and like, oh my gosh, I want 50 speaking gigs by next month. There's only a few people in the world who can do that. And it's probably Michelle Obama and Oprah. They're probably the only people that can wake up tomorrow and say, I want 50 of these. The rest of us, we got to do a lot of work. Remember, we went back into, when people call me with these goals and they want to make $50,000 speaking this year, that's where we have to decide, like, how much are we charging? $500, $5,000, and how much work are we willing to put in? So we're going to talk a lot about how long it takes to get on stage. And I'll just tell you the reality check I had, and it was a big old fat reality check when I realized how long it was going to take me to get on stage. Because I was one of those people who woke up like, I'm going to be a speaker. I said, I'm a speaker. Now everybody come. Yeah, even I laugh at myself these days. I was so cute. I really was cute. But tomorrow we're going to talk about how long it takes to get on stage. So be sure to come over to YouTube, ifindyoukclose.com/YouTube. Hit set the reminder so you can get a reminder of when we're going live and you know what we're doing over here. I know this is amazing. So if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and log off here on Instagram first. So for all my Instagram peeps, thank you so very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. For those of you who are following, go check out iFindYouClose.com. Get your free assessment. Get your free assessment. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. And we are not off because I got to hit the right button. I got to get used to all my little buttons that I have to press over here. And for those of you on YouTube, I appreciate you. Go check us out at iFindYouClose.com. I'll drop the link to my awesome map. It is a really cool map. I think you will absolutely love it if you are a big time travel person. So take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.